Oh, come on. Ah, I'm live. It said live stream is not available right now. I'm like, what is going on? Hello, hoppers. Let me make the screen bigger. I should remember to look up there. Is anybody there? So, greetings, everybody. Today I'm going to, oh, there are two people there. Yes. Hello. Where are you from? Hello, Samuel. Where is everybody watching me from? From India. Yes, I think I know your name. There's several names that I keep seeing all the time, and I definitely know you guys. Do you like my pillows? It's a little hint. One of the questions was whether there was a huge pillow fight on the plane, and I will answer that a little bit later. So, how is everybody doing? All three of you? I'm doing fine. I'm trying to cheer everybody up here a little bit. Somebody suggested that maybe I should do some travel stories. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea. I have lots of travel stories. So, smoke in the cabin, pillow fight, exactly. And also that they tried to steal my wallet once. Yes, true or false, we don't know. So, yeah, a lot of things have happened in all these years of travel, as you may as you may expect. So, yeah, I think it would be fun to put these questions up, and then I'm like curious to see what you guys think. It's really funny that there are cultural differences between the English channel and the Spanish channel. The answers are like different. It's really funny. They're definitely like we're all the same all over the world. I'm totally convinced that we're all the same, just that there are different cultures. And so we react differently to certain things and we do things a different way. And, but deep down, we're all the same. Okay, my answer to all three questions was yes. Well, we'll see. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Let's see. Please. Hi, Akash. Hello. Please make a video for visa immigration questions. Okay. The reason why I try and avoid those videos is because every country has their own rules. Okay, so if, for example, and it, countries. Wait, I'm gonna get rid of these. I have these pillows right here. Okay, so depending on what your passport is, okay, and depending on what country you're going to, the rules will be different. Sometimes you will need a visa, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you could just go from one country to another just with your ID. It all depends. So it's very complicated to do a video on this topic because the rules are different. And also from airport to airport, the rules are different. Some airports are more strict, other airports are more lenient. Although nowadays the rules are pretty uniform, but it's complicated to do a video like that. I did the one of Europeans traveling to the US because I've done that so many times, and I could share my experience with you guys about that because I know about it. I've done that many, many times. Hello. So that's the reason why. I'm only going to talk about things I really know. And when I don't know it, I'll tell you guys, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. What I do suggest is this is how I make sure, like when I do answer questions and I want to make sure I'm right, what I do is I say, let's say you are from India, right? And you want to travel to, let's say, Germany. So you say, you Google Indian restrictions travel restrictions, India to Germany, for example, or Indian national to Germany. That's what you have to look. Or you look at the websites of the consulate of the or the embassy of the country you're going to, and see. They usually have a list of restrictions and what you need and stuff like that. So yeah, I can't really do a video on that. I don't consider that I'm knowledgeable enough about that kind of stuff. I definitely know US to Spain, Spain to you. Well, basically Spain to US, because I'm not an American citizen. So I've always traveled with a European passport, and also with a residence card, because I had a green card in the U.S. So yeah, that I know, because I've done that like a million times. But I'm not going to get into details of, and also, like, if you've been to Syria, for example, you can't go to certain countries, like certain passports have limitations. They say you can travel to all the countries in the world except this, and that. And other countries say you can go to any country in the world. So that's my answer. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go to the last question I asked, and it's okay. On one of my trips in Europe, a lady came up to me asking me for money, and she stole my wallet. Okay. Now, 63% of you said that was true. And funny, on the Spanish channel, 78% said it was true, so even higher. And somebody said that I was such an experienced traveler and they wouldn't expect that to happen to me. Well, it did not happen to me, okay? It was false. That is false. The lady, several ladies have come up to me in my travels, and they ask for money, and I just like put on this mean face. I say, no, get away, like, unless I want to, If I want to, I'll give it, but I don't like these people who come to tourists and they ask for money. Usually I try not to dress like a tourist. I never take out my map, things like that. But let me tell you, the first time I've had my wallet stolen twice. The first time I had my wallet stolen, I was only about 12 years old. This happened in Brooklyn, in New York. My mom asked me to go to the store to get some groceries, and I had my little wallet in my pocket, and I went to the grocery store. I bought everything, and then inside the shopping bag, I put my wallet in there, and I guess somebody was watching me. I was a little kid. I was 12 years old, although nowadays 12-year-old people are more mature, but I wasn't. I was just a kid when I was 12. And so yeah, I put my wallet in my bag, in the shopping bag where I had the groceries. And then as I was walking home, somebody came over like behind me and ripped the bag, literally ripped the paper bag and took my wallet and went running. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't crying, but I was like in shock because it happened so quickly that you're like, what did just happen? What happened? So that happened. That definitely happened to me. And another time I left in my handbag at work. I used to hang it behind my door, and I worked in a hospital, and there's a lot of people in hospitals, and the hospital was like where I worked. It wasn't very busy, so if somebody came in, you could see the person. But I guess I wasn't watching, and nobody saw this person, and they took my wallet, but they didn't take my handbag. So thank you for that. Actually, they took the money inside my wallet, but they didn't take any cards. They didn't take anything. So that was very nice. I mean, okay, they took the money. The money could be replaced, but credit cards and stuff like that is more complicated. So yeah, and then I've had a lot of attempts. I've had many attempts where people tried to steal my wallet. I remember once in New York, I was shopping, and I had my wallet inside my pocket, and I was looking at one of the window displays, and all of a sudden I saw like this blue thing like in front of me, and my wallet was blue, and I saw a hand going into my pocket, and the blue thing coming out of my pocket, which was my wallet and the hand. And instinctively, don't ask me why I did this, I don't recommend that you do this. Instinctively, I grabbed the woman's hand like this, like I think my New York instinct comes out. It's there. I'm very calm, but it comes out every once in a while. It's like, don't mess with me. It's like, ooh, give me my wallet now. And the lady was so shocked. She was a young girl. The lady was so shocked that she's like, okay, like, all right, I won't mess with you. Okay. Afterwards, I must say, my heart was racing. I was so nervous. And then I'm like looking all over, like behind me, just to make sure that she wasn't following me and didn't have somebody else with her. So I do not recommend that you do that, but it just came out. And you never know what you're going to do in those circumstances, because I didn't know I had that in me, but I was like, give me my wallet now. And she did. I was lucky. I was very lucky. She didn't pull out a gun or she didn't do something else. So that question was false. And I never had my wallet stolen while I was on vacation, on a holiday, or on a trip. Oh, but I did see somebody steal the method of stealing. Like, listen to this. This is important. All right, there was this lady. It's always women. Why is this? Because I don't know. Maybe you don't expect it. You see a woman with a baby, and maybe you don't expect it. But anyway, she had this big skirt on, very big flowy skirt, and she had a piece of cardboard in front of her. She went up to some tourists and said, could I have some money? And the tourists opened up their handbag. They took out money from their wallet and they gave it to her. While the tourist was giving money to this lady and then put the wallet back into her bag, at that very moment, the lady got the cardboard and like pushed into her. And then, like, let's say this is the cardboard, and then she grabbed the wallet of the lady that had just given her money, for God's sake. So she stole the wallet, and I saw this and I just froze. I must have been about 20 something years old. And like I was like right out of school. I was in shock. And luckily somebody else saw it and said something, but I was like, I didn't say anything. I mean, that always stuck in my mind, that I didn't say anything to this poor woman. Imagine being on a trip and somebody stealing your wallet. I mean, that happens all the time. You have to be really, really careful. And I hate to say it, but I don't trust people when I'm traveling. I know it sounds awful, but I try and keep my stuff on me. Like, I don't have a bag like just lying around. No, I keep everything close to me, because you don't know. You don't know. It doesn't happen only when you're traveling, because look at me. It happened to me twice in New York, in Brooklyn, in my neighborhood. So it doesn't matter. So be careful with people that are like bumping into you and getting too close and that kind of thing, okay? Because they could be wanting to get something from you. I don't know, maybe not, but just in case, it's like, don't get too close to me. I'm like that. Oh man, I think that's called New York schooling. New York street schooling. All right. Next question. Once on an airplane, there was a lot of smoke coming from the seat behind me. I freaked out. I most definitely freaked out. Like, you have no idea. My heart was pounding. So this was the situation. In the old days, people were allowed to smoke. right? So when the plane went up and when the plane landed, they weren't allowed to smoke. But right once you reached cruising altitude, you were allowed to smoke. Imagine an airplane with smoke, terrible. Anyway, so I was seated at the last seat, or in the last seat of the non-smoking section, and the seat right behind me was the seat of the smokers. So as soon as we reached cruising altitude, the person lit his or her cigarette. I have no idea who the person was. Lit the cigarette and, of course, blew the smoke towards me. And I smelled the smoke like so intensely that I really thought the plane was on fire and there was something going on. I had forgotten that people were smoking on the plane. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of smoke behind me, it's true, but it wasn't because the plane was on fire or anything like that. It was because people were smoking, and I was right at the border between the smokers and the non-smokers. So, yeah, that's true. And 79% of you thought it was true. Very good, very good. And a little bit fewer, 64% on the Spanish channel said it was true. So the English channel won there. Let's see what you got this one right. Have I visited Colombia? No, I haven't. But I love Colombian music. I went to a Colombian music festival, and I love Colombian music. So yeah, I love music, all music in general. I started, I've been trying to exercise now during the lockdown, and I started doing some videos of like Bollywood workouts. I love them. Then I started watching stuff on how to dance, like African music. I mean, I like music from all over the world, and why limit yourself? The world is so big. Why just listen to one type of music? And I love listening to very diverse, like world music type of channels. Yeah, I like that. Also, living in New York, you're exposed to a lot of different types of music. And then, of course, I lived in Spain, so I'm exposed to a lot of types of music there. And now in Germany also. So it's cool. It's cool. Please tell me, yeah, have you visited Colombia? Yeah, I said it. La cumbia, right? I love the cumbia. Hi from the US. Hello, Tina from the US. I remember smoking on airplanes. It was awful. It really was. Also, I went on a trip once on a bus. It was, when you're still in school, you don't have too much money, you don't want to spend a lot of money on travel, but you still want to travel. I took this bus tour that was like 13 countries, and no, wait, no, not 13 countries. It was like 5 countries in 13 days, something like that. And it was like dirt cheap. It was really, really cheap. But it went like from one country to another in Europe. It was basically the south of France and Italy. It was the first time I'd been to Italy. I loved it. I had a really good time. I didn't care about the 9 hours on the bus. I didn't care about crossing all of, Italy on bus. I didn't care about that. So there was smoking allowed on the bus, and practically everybody smoked on that bus. And yeah, it was really awful. Every time I went into the bus, it smelled so bad. And then when all this smoke, and I don't know how I was able to do that. But anyway, okay. Where do you live in Germany? I live right by Mannheim. That's where I live. I'm in Hanau right now, where we have the mandatory mask wearing thing. Yes, here too. You're here in Germany, you have to wear a mask also when you go out. Also, You have to keep social distancing. I just want to remind all of you that although some of the lockdowns are being released, how do you say that? That we're allowed to go out. Well, certain countries now are allowed to go out, and certain shops are open and all that. The virus is still there, so be careful with it. Just keep social distancing, wear your mask, do not touch your face. You all know what you have to do, okay? But remember, the virus is still there, okay? It's just not as many people are infected, but it's still there. So please be careful. Hello, Jack B.E. from England. Hello, how are you? Oh, and I'm not wearing my mask because I'm home, okay? And I'm alone. Okay. Well, I'm with you guys, but I won't be able to infect anybody from here. Oh, cool. Yes, generally in public. We don't have to wear masks, but our shops are 1 in, 1 out. And yeah, in the big shops, it's a 1A system. Right. So sometimes they only allow one person to go in at a time. For example, in the supermarkets here in my neighborhood, it's one person per shopping cart. So everybody has to have a shopping cart, and that sort of forces you to keep social distancing, which I thought was pretty smart. Hello from sunny Spain, Wilson. It's sunny here today in Germany too. I live in Barcelona, and as you know from yesterday, we can go in the morning 4 hours, in the evening 3 more. People are tired, but it's not a thing of being tired or not tired. We have to look at the science, like I said in my last live. And of course, there isn't as much infection, but it's still there. The virus is still there, so you still have to be careful. I've been riding my bike, and don't tell anybody, but I went to the beach. It is forbidden to go, but I did. Yeah, I know. You shouldn't go to the beach. When do you think travel will be back to normal? Oh, that's a very difficult question. When is travel going to be back to normal? I have 2 minutes left because I have to start on the Spanish channel. I don't know when travel is going to be back to normal, but I think it's going to take a while because I think until there's a vaccine, we're not going to be 100% safe. So let's just take it day by day and see how it goes. But I think travel, like back to normal travel, is going to take quite a while. I'm just being honest. And that's my opinion. Yeah. So the thing about going out, you go out and you're more tempted to maybe be more in contact with people, or you see a friend, oh, hi, and you totally forget about the social distancing and all that. So I think that's why it's good to try and stay home, don't go out too much. And of course, it depends where you live right now. So where you are right now. How many languages do I speak? All right, I am bilingual, so I speak Spanish and English as if it were one language. I studied French, so that's the language I learned in school. And now I live in Germany, so I speak a little bits in Deutsch, very little German, I mean. And I speak Galician. Well, I don't speak Galician in the sense that I've always heard Galician, it's very similar to Portuguese. And I've always heard it at home, so I can understand, I would say like 99% of Galician, but it's more difficult for me to speak it because I rarely spoke it. Although I'm able to if I have to, that kind of thing. And it's been very helpful because when I studied French, there were a lot of words that I knew from Galician, and it helped me with the French. So like the root of the word, it would help me. So yeah. So I'm going to answer the last question. And I'm going to try and do these live chats every month. I think I'm going to do them every first Sunday of the month. Yeah, every first Sunday of the month, I think I'm going to try and do these live chats. The problem is always the time, because like right now, okay, I started it at 16 hours Madrid time, but it's 7 a.m. in California, it's 9 a.m. in Mexico, it's 10 a.m. in New York, it's 7:30 in New Delhi p.m., and it's midnight in Sydney. So, and all my hoppers are from these places. So I'm trying to find a time that's good for everybody, but it's difficult. I thought maybe do half an hour at the beginning of the day, like my day, and then later on another half hour, or I don't know. The good thing is that after this, you could watch it on YouTube. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. You could leave them in Instagram and on Facebook. No, Facebook. Yeah, in the comments, but no messages on Facebook, because people were asking me all these things about visas and things like that, and that type of like specific travel, and I'm not going to answer things like that. So my shoulder, look, I still can't lift it. My shoulder's a mess. Hello, Pete. Okay, now I'm going to thanks for helping us. In any case, I love the way you speak in English. Tú eres mi inspiración. Gracias. Saludos. Thank you. I'm bilingual. It doesn't count. I've been speaking Spanish and English since I was 5 years old, every day of my life. So it's one language for me. Okay, so now the pillow question. Was there a huge pillow fight? Wait, they didn't have these pillows when this happened. It was regular, the pillows. Somebody said there are no pillows on planes. It's sort of like this. This is a bigger one. It's not covered. But anyway, was there a pillow fight? Most definitely yes. Okay, this was the most hilarious thing you guys could ever imagine. So what happened was, it was a flight from New York to Madrid. And I think it was that way, because you're served dinner, and then you're served dinner, then they dim the lights, then you go to sleep, and then when you wake up, you arrive to wherever, Madrid or wherever. Yeah, I think it was Madrid. So what happened was, somebody threw a pillow to somebody, like, here, catch, and it hit somebody else on the head. And then that person was like, hey, was startled. Was like, hey, what's going on? Where did this pillow come from? And the person took the pillow and threw it back. And then it hit somebody else. And then that person was startled and said, hey, what was this? So that person threw the pillow to somebody else. And then that person threw the pillow to somebody else. And before you know it, everybody was throwing pillows to one another. It was hilarious. The whole cabin was throwing pillows to one another. And of course, we had already used them, because that would have been a little disgusting if we're like throwing pillows and then sharing them and then going to sleep on them, right? Especially nowadays. So that was absolutely true. And it was, let's see, what did you guys say? You guys said 62% said that it was true, and 32% said it was true on the Spanish channel. That was like, that's funny. But yeah, it was hilarious. All these little pillows going back and forth and back and forth. It was so funny. It was like a food fight, sort of, but with pillows. And well, luckily it wasn't a food fight. Okay, so you should visit London again. I most definitely, go on the cable cars. Yes, I want to visit so many places. So Samuel, you got 2 out of 3 right. Very good. It was a very enjoyable flight. It was, especially that part, you don't expect it. So, Okay, everybody, I have to say goodbye because I promised my hoppers in Spanish that I would be on the Spanish channel. So if you guys want to go over to listen to this in Spanish, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll do more questions. Excuse me, and I'll put them on the community tab on MuchoHop. And yeah, so I'll see you guys the first Monday of the next month. Which what month? What month are we in? We're in May, right? So May, June. In June, the first Sunday in June, we'll do another live session. Maybe I'll do it a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll see. Okay? Let me know what you think. See you. Bye. Thanks for watching. And please stay safe, okay? Bye.